Hello, hello. Hi, everyone. I hope you're all well. Firstly, what an incredible turnout. So excited to have so many of you in the session today. So welcome to Spotify Studio Sessions. We are so excited today to be hosting so many of you from the UK, from the US, from Canadian markets as well. And in today's session, we're going to be sharing our essential guide to advertising on Ad Studio for agencies. And I, Kitty, will be presenting alongside my amazing colleague, Kristen. So firstly, a little bit about us. As account managers here at Spotify, our role is to help small to medium-sized businesses grow through Spotify self-serve advertising. I work in the UK out of the London office, so if anyone is around London, please come say hi. I've been at Spotify for just over a year, and what am I currently listening to on the platform? I actually recently rediscovered Paolo Nutini, so he did actually release a new album last year, and I'm really enjoying it, so check it out.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kristen Ness. I'm a senior growth account manager based in our New York office. I've been at Spotify for 3.5 years, working primarily with agencies of all sizes. I'm currently just got finished listening to Miley Cyrus's new album, love it, but also really enjoy listening to all the personalized playlists such as Discover Weekly and Release Radar.
Amazing. I also can't get enough of Miley Cyrus at the moment. But before we jump into things, everyone, I just want to remind you that interaction is really welcome during all of our sessions. You know, we want this conversation to be completely dynamic. So if you do have any questions, please do feel free to ask them. There's a Q&A window where you can submit them, and we're going to do our best to answer as many as possible during the session. And lastly, we will be following up with an on-demand recording of the webinar. So don't worry about taking notes. You know, you can share the webinar with people who weren't able to attend today. Just sit back and relax. So why are we here today? That is the real important question. And what we hear time and time again as account managers is that agencies want to diversify their marketing mix, but they're not entirely sure how to do that. And so by the end of today's webinar, we really want you to feel confident incorporating digital audio into the mix and also presenting Spotify to your clients as an essential element of a full funnel plan. So the playlist today, I'm going to start off by taking a bit of a deep dive into the benefits of digital audio. I'm also going to be sharing with you some of the latest research on the effects of digital audio on the brain. And we're also going to be sharing a snapshot of Spotify's competitive advantage in today's market. Then I'll hand the mic over to Kristen. She's going to take you over everything Ad Studio, including targeting capabilities, including some of our latest product features. And we are also lucky enough to have one of our own US agencies in the session today. They're going to be walking us through their Spotify journey and also how they found success with us through Ad Studio. And finally, we'll end on a live Q&A, so please do keep those questions coming throughout. But before we dive in, we do have an important question for the audience. This is the first of a few polls which we're going to be putting to you throughout the webinar to help us better understand your current usage of digital audio, if any, and also to help answer any questions, which we're going to try our best to address throughout. So the first poll is, does your agency currently run digital audio? Is A, we haven't run digital audio before, so we're newbies to digital audio. Great that you're in the session today then, hopefully lots to learn. B, we run some digital audio, so maybe that's, 1 to 2 clients, a couple of clients in there. Or C, we run loads of digital audio, 5 to 10 clients, or even more clients. You might be experts, but I'm sure that by the end of the webinar, you'll have some extra knowledge to help continue helping your clients scale. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of newbies here to digital audio. Great. Hopefully going to learn lots today. Fantastic. So let's get started. Why digital audio is the big question. So digital audio, we know, is growing. And according to a recent report from eMarketer in January of this year, consumers are changing how they actually listen to audio. So the average time spent per day listening to audio is on the rise and is forecast to continue rising over the next few years, as you can see from this graph, which shows us the average daily listening time in the US. And in the UK, we actually see a similar trend with an average listening time of 1 hour and 25 minutes per day spent with digital audio. And this is forecast to increase to 1 hour and 28 minutes in 2024. And today, 1 in 3, or 118 million Americans, now listen to podcasts. And average podcast listeners actually spend over 40 minutes per day listening to their favorite podcasts, mostly to stay up to date, to be entertained, or simply to learn new things. And in the UK, podcasts reach over 1 in 4 Brits every month. And listeners spend over 60 minutes per day listening to these podcasts. And over the last couple of years, we've been able to build Spotify to be the #1 podcast player in the world. And we did actually partner with the research team at NeuroInsight, and the study we did with them shows that the listening experience for digital audio significantly elevated brain activity. And this led to higher memorability, higher engagement, and also higher emotional intensity. And across these metrics, digital audio improved the experience by over 20%. And we do believe that this boost is directly tied to digital audio's personalization and also interactivity. And unlike traditional radio, digital audio lets people tailor what they're hearing. So it connects directly to their specific interests and also the moment that they are in at that time. So if you think of radio as being a one-to-many medium, whereas digital audio, you can really understand your audience. You can be relevant and you can build those essential one-to-one connections with listeners through specific targeting. And we also know that 1/3 of the global online population uses Spotify on a weekly basis. So a very large chunk of people. So the opportunity is really huge. And today, Spotify is the world's most popular audio platform out there. And so we know that we can reach your clients' audiences. I'm really excited to share, actually, that we hit a huge milestone recently. We now have 500 million monthly active users globally, and we are available in 184 markets. And as you can see from the slide, the split between ad-supported and premium users is around 60-40. And it's really, really important to note that there's no sign of a decline in the Spotify audience, quite the opposite, because people sign up to the platform every single second of every single day. So that opportunity for advertisers just continues to grow day after day. And your clients' audiences are right here on the platform. So using a slide like this, you can actually highlight the audience numbers we have based on the target audience of your own clients. So depending on the end client, you can highlight certain segments, and how with Spotify, they would be able to reach their desired and relevant audience using Spotify advertising. And of course, if you're working with an account manager, they can provide a market-specific slide for you so that all of this data is entirely relevant to your clients. And we know that Spotify is popular amongst all ages, but particularly popular amongst a younger demographic that can be really hard to reach through traditional media. For example, Gen Zs. We know that they are saying goodbye to social media, for example. They're much more in touch with their mental health. They're all coming to Spotify and they utilize the platform as a safe space. 56% of our audience is actually that harder to reach audience, so between the ages of 16 and 34. The majority of streams also happen on mobile. I don't think there are any surprises there. We're all addicted to our mobile phones, but that bodes well for advertisers. But to clarify, these stats are for the ad-supported tier. And I do believe that there's still a bit of a misconception between the quality of the audience, between the ad-supported and premium audience. The quality is literally the same. It sort of works as a funnel. So the majority of people who end up paying for Spotify have started on the ad-supported tier. And we also know that this ad-supported audience is a highly educated audience as well as a high income audience. So an audience that is ready to invest in fantastic products that are relevant to them. So how does Spotify actually compare to other media types, you might be wondering? So we know that across all media types, Spotify adds incremental reach. Spotify adds 17% average incremental reach on commercial radio stations, 16% on TV channels, and 11% on other digital platforms. And our reach is really unrivaled, and we know that our audience is engaged. So as I mentioned earlier, we reach over 1/3 of the online population. So we outrank streaming content platforms like Netflix, like Snapchat, like Twitch. And our reach goes much deeper than those brands too, because we're not just connecting with millions of people, we're engaging with them on a really hyper-personal level for an average of 2.5 hours every single day. So let's look at that engagement level a little bit closer. We're not just talking about comparing to other audio formats. Neuro Insights research actually found that Spotify drove higher engagement than TV, than digital video, and also than social media too. And I think that that is really a testament to the power of audio. Spotify's deeply personalized platform seems to create a much more engaging experience than watching a TV show on the couch or passively scrolling through Facebook, for example, and not even realizing that you've been targeted by an ad, whether that's on social media or on the TV. Whereas with Spotify, from the get-go, you're having a much more engaging and personal experience. So why is engagement and listenership so high? So digital audio, firstly, is everywhere. It can reach anyone during any moment of their day, and it can fill key gaps in that consumer journey. So brands have an amazing opportunity to reach their target audience during the moments that really matter, and also to drive impact by always being 100% relevant thanks to our streaming intelligence. Our users are logged in on Spotify, so this means that we can understand how the same person is streaming across all of their devices throughout the entire day. And the more our users stream, the more we're going to understand them. And this understanding is what allows us to curate content for them, serve up the relevant podcasts and playlists that we know they're going to love. And most importantly, to all of you guys on the call today, it also enables us to deliver the most relevant advertiser messages to them in exactly the right moment. So whether users are actively looking at their Spotify app or they're just jamming in the background, enjoying the music, then we can serve up the right format that gets their attention every time. So the question is, what are you waiting for, everyone? No matter what users are doing, we are part of their daily routine. Your clients have the opportunity to accompany our users anywhere and be always on and top of mind amongst our audience, which is something that really sets Spotify apart. So now it's time for our next audience poll. When pitching digital audio, what would you say is the biggest pushback that you come across when pitching Spotify to your clients? Thank you for interacting, by the way. I'm going to say it again, but your responses are really, really helpful. We ask these questions so we can better, be partners to you, but also help you better serve your clients. So thank you very much for interacting. Is it a lack of interest, perhaps? Is it a lack of knowledge? Is it a lack of budget? Or it could potentially be a creative blocker as well. Yeah, a few coming in here. Sometimes budget can be a bit of an issue. We're going through hard times at the moment, but digital audio doesn't have to be expensive. Creative blocker no more. I'm really excited for Kristen to take over because she's going to be unblocking a lot of you, hopefully. That is the plan. So without further ado, I'm going to be handing over to you, Kristen, for the next section.
Thank you, Kitty. Please be sure just to remind everyone to send in your questions. I've been seeing a lot of great questions come through, so a reminder to keep having those submitted. So now that we chatted through the benefits of digital audio, really excited to chat more about how you can take action today. So helping your clients advertise their brand to the millions of users on our platform on Spotify is super simple with our self-serve ad manager ad studio. You're able to set up an account in minutes and really collaborate across your teams, across different campaigns, as well as different ad accounts. Budget seemed to be a blocker for a lot of you. I'm happy to share. We are able to book your audio and video campaigns directly on the platform with flexible budgets and have full control over how that budget is spent. We have powerful targeting options based off of how users are streaming playlists and podcasts. We'll go into more detail on that a little bit, but kind of stemming from what Kitty said on being able to be relevant in moments where users are streaming. And creative blockers, that was also a topic mentioned in that poll. We have a free audio production service that is available for you to use on all of your campaigns. So all you have to do is provide a script and we'll record that voice over for you. It's free of charge and completely added value for all of your campaigns. So no creative blockers, no more. And lastly, we have a real-time reporting platform to really give you access to how the campaign is pacing and really be able to optimize in real time on your campaign. To dive in a little bit more about our targeting features, we do have age, gender, and location targeting. You're able to get as granular as zip code targeting to really reach those narrow markets that your clients might be in. Additionally, to really hone in on how the users are streaming on our platform, we have different targeting options based on what they're listening to. So you can target them based off of music genres, where your ad would be served after a specific genre is played, real-time contexts, where listeners are streaming in specific moments throughout their day, or interest, their general interest, and reach the audience based off of activities and topics that they're passionate about. Additionally, in our podcast inventory, you're able to target based on podcast episodes, topics that they're currently listening to as well. In terms of format, we offer both audio and video advertising. However, video is only available on music ads currently. To dive into these formats in a little bit more detail, firstly and most obvious is our audio capability. This format is served exclusively in stream during active sessions to really maximize the reach of your campaigns. But one thing that we have seen over the last few years is 1 in every 5 minutes spent on the platform is with the app in view. And this is when we serve up a video ad. Video is served with sound on, uninterrupted. We're able to register that the user is viewing the app to really maximize engagement. Our goal, both of these formats are clickable and can be up to 30 seconds and non-skippable as well. Our goal is really not to waste any impressions. So whether users are actively looking at the app or playing music in the background, we serve up the right format in the right moment to really grab their attention. And while these standalone formats really perform well on their own, we know that combining video with audio can really help reinforce your message. These multi-format campaigns have shown a 1.9 greater increase in ad recall, as well as a 2.2 greater increase in brand awareness than video ads alone. So using this multi-format approach can really help maximize your campaign's impact across all these key brand metrics. Now that you have amazing creatives to run with your campaign, now is the strategy, how to put that in place. So we have an auction model that you can choose from 3 different goals depending on how you'd like your ad to be delivered. We have reach to really build awareness and get your brand discovered, impressions to keep your clients' brands top of mind and really motivate the audience to take action. And our newest goal, clicks, to really optimize clicks and drive listeners towards your specific URL. To kind of dive into clicks a little bit more, which is our newest goal, how this works is by an accompanying call to action card. And we've seen with the click goal and call to action card, we've been seeing a over 2 times increase in CTRs compared to reach and impressions alone. And really just to kind of put in perspective, our benchmark CTR is a 0.04% for audio, and we've been seeing up to 0.2 to 0.3% increase. So huge engagement there. We know that a lot of brands have a lot of lower funnel focuses, and we're really excited to reveal that we are moving in that direction with this new launch. A bit more about call to action cards specifically. So these cards work as a leave behind format. So they show up across the app for users to engage up to 8 hours after the ad has been heard. So really making it easier for listeners to remember and take action. So let's say your ad was heard in the morning time. We give them ample opportunity through their workday, whether they're working out, cooking dinner with the family to really see your message again and engage and take action. Now to segue into podcast advertising. So podcast ads in combination with ads and music can really help you reach the widest possible audience on Spotify, especially as they differ in different contexts throughout the day. So the podcast ads are powered by our Spotify audience network, super easy to scale across thousands of titles, whether it's on our owned and operated shows and studios or third-party podcast publishers. So no need to negotiate with individual titles or publishers anymore. We're really able to target your clients' audiences with precision, really truly understand your campaign's impact with reporting. And these podcast ads are available currently in the US, so you can get started on those today. But podcast ads will be coming to the UK and Canada later this year. So like I mentioned earlier, while standalone formats perform well, we recommend taking a holistic multi-format approach to reach the right audience with the relevant context. We know that people listen to music to feel and listen to podcasts to be entertained or learn something new. So there's a really exciting opportunity here to really be creative with your messaging and how users are being receptive to the content. I'm really excited now to bring to the stage here Kristen Daria from 2060 Digital. Kristen is an agency that I have been working with for almost 3 years now at Spotify. So I'm really happy to chat with her today a bit more about her Spotify journey as well as her audio journey. Kristen, would love to start by just telling us about yourself and the clients that you work with at 2060 Digital.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm Kristen Daria. I am the Director of Campaign Management at 2060 Digital, and I lead our wonderful team of digital campaign managers across the US that work to drive those measurable results for our clients that we're looking for. We work with a wide variety of clients, from major brands to small to medium-sized businesses, and we work within industries all across the board, from industries like home services, education, healthcare, and financial services, just to name a few.
Awesome. And what got you and your team interested in audio in the first place?
Yeah, so our roots are in audio with Hubbard Broadcasting, more specifically Hubbard Radio. And Hubbard Broadcasting as a whole is a company that has had a history of firsts, and including the formation of the first national radio news service here. So we're a performance-driven agency. We really are looking for solutions for our clients that broaden their marketing mix and are targetable and drive those measurable results. So as we continued to look for innovative ways to connect with people in the communities that we serve on the radio side, there was just this natural path for us to ensure that audio could be part of the solutions that we create for our clients digitally as well.
Amazing. And what brought you to Spotify specifically for your audio solution?
Yeah, having those roots in radio and our focus on digital marketing solutions, we really were leaning into delivering messages to our clients wherever their target audience may be. And while radio is still the center of the audio universe, consumers are diversifying their listening habits. And we know that more than 70% of US adults are streaming audio content through their smartphones and tablets. And so having, that streaming audio campaigns, as I mentioned, available for our clients to kind of help complement their radio campaigns and also like build a cohesive voice across their digital channels as well was important to us.
Yes, love that. It's diversifying. What would you say works really well and what you really like about advertising on Spotify?
Yeah, the Ad Studio platform is really easy to utilize. The UI is intuitive. It's a platform that my team was able to quickly learn and implement in our daily media buying. And the support that we receive is incredible. When we have questions, you and the rest of the Spotify team have always been available to help us, and that really makes a huge difference for us.
You mentioned you run across many different industries. Would you care to provide just some color on a campaign from one of your clients that was successful on Spotify?
Yeah, there is a public comprehensive university that's located in a major metropolitan area that comes to mind. And they were looking to drive awareness and leads mainly for their enrollment. So as part of their strategic marketing plan, we recommended Spotify ads to help with that overall brand awareness. And, we were able to look at the whole marketing funnel and apply strategies that we're going to drive awareness and action to accomplish those goals for that client.
Earlier in the presentation today, we talked about how at Spotify adds incremental reach across all different media types. What other media channels is this client utilizing, and how does Spotify work together with those channels?
They utilize a various array of tactics, display, billboards, TikTok, Snapchat ads, video ads, whether it's, more OTT content or on YouTube. They're utilizing radio. They really are diversifying their mix. And part of that, they've really been able to lean into the on-air talent and also drive like influencer campaigns with those radio the on-air talent from those radio stations. But they've taken that and really coordinated those messages and kept that voice for their brand cohesive.
Amazing. Is there any general feedback that they shared about the campaigns they run on Spotify?
Yeah, so the Spotify campaign for them has driven over 2.5 million impressions, close to 4,500 clicks for them to their site. And it's really been great. I think it's been something that has been able to kind of reach beyond the limits of that traditional radio for them. They're really excited to expand out into this format and kind of foster that holistic campaign approach that we really like to take, while also looking for those measurable results. And the client has then more than doubled their initial monthly budgets and continue to discuss plans on how to drive more performance and increase those budgets more, which we of course like to see as well.
We love to hear how successful they've been with us. How would you say digital audio compares to the other digital channels that you're working with?
Yeah, that's hard to compare them one-to-one. I feel it's not really apples to apples, but as part of this broader marketing mix, we've seen digital audio being an excellent resource for providing that brand awareness while also being able to drive comparable results to those other tactics.
Awesome. And anything else you'd like to share with folks we have on the call today about just audio advertising in general?
Yeah, I think the audio space and Ad Studio specifically, it's continuing to grow and evolve. And we're really confident with the support that we receive from the team. And I think just my last thing would be, don't be afraid to try it if you haven't yet. We have found it to complement our other digital tactics as well as radio, traditional radio, and enhance that reach and performance. And so if you haven't included it in that mix, give it a try, because it's probably easier than you think.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Kristen. Really appreciate everything you got to share with us about your experience in the audio space, as well as specifically running campaigns on Ad Studio.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course. Now we're going to segue into another poll question. And so this poll question is, how can we help you? What is the one thing that we could do to make it really easier for you to pitch audio to your clients and start including audio in their strategy and overall marketing mix? We could host more webinars on specific verticals, receive more marketing updates on Spotify insights and new features, help with the media plans and briefs, that you have and provide recommendations, or having a one-on-one call with an ad studio account manager like myself or Kitty. And we'll be transitioning into the Q&A shortly, so please continue to drop your questions in the Q&A box. And thank you all for participating in these polls. We really appreciate it. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for submitting. Now we'd like to, like I said, transition into the Q&A. We'll invite Kitty back, and we have the wonderful Helen. She is a growth account manager based in our UK market. She's been with us for the last 2 years, and she will be moderating our Q&A session today and helping us answer some of the great questions that you have submitted.
Great. Thank you so much, Kristen, for the introduction. And guys, I can see that we have a lot of questions from the audience. So let's just try to get through as many as possible. So I have a first question right here, and that one goes to you, Kristen. What is the cost of advertising on podcasts versus on music? And can I buy on a CPM basis?
Yes. So for both podcasts and music, it's bought on a CPM basis. Podcasts specifically start at a minimum spend of $500. This is a fixed CPM and will fluctuate based off of your targeting. The more granular targeting, usually the higher CPM we see. Music is on our auction buying system. So you can buy video and audio on music. The minimum spend requirements are $250 in your local currency. And we recommend a bid cap based off of the targeting that you submit. So you have the final decision on what you want that bid cap and max CPM price to be for your campaigns.
Great. Thank you so much, Kristen. Following up with another question from the audience, how can audio ads best fit into an omni-channel marketing mix? I'll hand that one over to you, Kitty.
Thanks, Helen. That's actually a really good question, and one I get asked a lot. And I think the most important thing to bear in mind here is that by incorporating audio ads into your mix, it's really not about, cutting out anything that you're doing on other channels. Spotify should be considered as the perfect complement to what you're doing on other platforms and channels to ensure that you are always maximizing on reach, but also filling those key gaps in the consumer journey that I mentioned earlier. And really supercharging impact, because you can understand so much more about your audience and always remain relevant. If your audience, for example, isn't on Instagram or TikTok at that certain moment or in any given time, they're most likely listening to music, right? Or think of it as an extra touch point, added frequency for those who may have seen your ad elsewhere during the day, but also think of it as an opportunity to reach that hard to reach audience that we spoke about earlier, that audience like Gen Zs, for example, who are much harder to reach through traditional channels, or people who are blocking advertising. You can't actually block advertising on Spotify. And also, most importantly, listenership only continues to rise. So doing audio is really more relevant than ever.
Great. Thank you, Kitty. Right. So another question. So how has the new auction bidding strategy impacted advertising? Are people seeing better results, or has it reduced?
That is I'll take that one. That is a great question. Something we definitely get asked a lot as well. One thing that we've seen, especially since moving into the auction, is that it's given advertisers a lot more flexibility and control just over their spend. I touched upon that a bit just before. We've seen also a really big drop in CPM, which has been super great for advertisers. You're really getting a bigger bang for your buck, really being able to expand your reach in the markets that you're looking to target. And do so with those goals in mind that you have. And so as long as your bid cap is really competitive, we recommend usually doing a couple dollars over to just be safe and really be able to maximize your reach. And then with the results, we've been really rolling out a lot of new features since launching the auction to really help with that and drive those lower funnel metrics, drive those goals, drive those clicks. We are definitely still very much an awareness channel, top of the funnel, but we hear a lot of the feedback that advertisers are sharing with us. And so that's a lot of the work that goes into how we're evolving our platform.
Thank you, Kristen. What type of measurement do we have available on Ad Studio? Kitty.
A few things. So firstly, we report in real time on, delivery metrics. So for example, like ads served, reach, frequency, budget pacing, completion rate. We also report on performance metrics like impressions, reach, clicks, click-through rates. And we also give insight, like audience insights, to better understand your audience performance across gender, age, and device as well on music. You can also benefit from DCM impression and clicks tracking, and you can add, impression and clicks tags, and also benefit from modes and IAS viewability tracking for video. And we do also work with a list of reporting partners too to help advertisers analyze and measure the overall impact of their Ad Studio campaigns. And you can actually access that full list of partners at ads.spotify.com. And on podcasts that are served on platform, we can report on the above mentioned, and off platform, we can report on impressions currently. But in the long term, our strategy is definitely involving becoming much more sort of direct response. We are building the number one self-serve platform out there, and we are taking sort of necessary steps to definitely optimize our measurement capabilities, so that we can help make your advertising, that much more impactful in the long run.
Great, thank you so much, Kitty, and thank you, Kristen, as well. We have just a little bit more time left for a couple of more questions. So this one is actually quite a good one. So when working with an Ad Studio rep, what advice do you give? Do you help size the audience and recommend the right reach, frequency, or do you drive budget?
Great question. I could take that one, give Kitty a little rest. Yeah, so pretty much all of the above. We want to partner with you from a strategic standpoint, really work with you from the beginning stages of brainstorming, of strategy, to really make the most impact on Spotify. I mentioned, obviously running multi-format campaigns is great, but if it doesn't work for that specific campaign or the goals you have set, that's not something that we would recommend. So we're definitely here to work with you to make sure that we're setting your campaign up for success from the early on stages. And then once that campaign is live, definitely optimizing, making sure that it is running smoothly and to the expectations of you and your clients. But we're really here to just be a strategic partner in the full cycle and really work with you to make sure that you guys feel most confident using our platform.
Great, thank you so much. We have also a question on the creative side of things. So is there a minimum spend for the free ad creation tool?
The minimum spend is $250 in your local currency. So yes, please do take advantage of the free audio ad creation tool. It is there for a reason. If you don't have the time, the energy, or your client doesn't have the budget, doesn't know where to start with professional voiceovers, those can be extremely expensive, and you can reinvest that budget somewhere else in your campaign, hopefully on Spotify, but it's there for a reason. So please do take advantage of it.
To add to that as well, you're able to run multiple creatives. So really be able to A/B test different voice actors, different scripts, different strategies you might have in place for the messaging. So you're able to utilize the voiceover tool for that to really make an impact there.
Great, thank you so much, girls. And we have also a lot of questions that I'm seeing in the Q&A here around upcoming features, and we have quite a lot of exciting things that will come up and come to our Ad Studio platform in the pipeline. However, all of these features are different depending on the market. So we will be following up tomorrow with an email where you can find some more information on how you can best reach one of us or another Ad Studio representative in your market. And from there, you can just set up a call with us and we'll tell you more about all of these upcoming features that we have. And unfortunately, guys, I'm already being told that we are at the end of the Q&A. And I just want to say thank you so much to everyone that has submitted questions, to our speakers, and thank you so much for everyone that's participated in the webinar as well. Thank you to our lovely hosts. If we did not manage to get back to you on your questions, like I already mentioned, there will be an email with more information on how you can reach one of us. However, there is one last question that we wanted to ask all of you guys. Who is the greatest of all times in terms of your favorite artists? So the options that we have here would be Queen, Drake, Elton John, Bad Bunny, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, ABBA, Ed Sheeran, Harry Styles, or Adele? And this is a very important question now, guys.
The most important of them all, I think.
Yeah.
We all know I have a very big soft spot for Bad Bunny, but I feel like it's got to be Queen.
I don't know. ABBA's been making a big comeback, I feel like.
I feel like Drake or Bad Bunny, or maybe even Taylor Swift.
All of them are absolute legends, so they can all be winners today. But guys, thank you so much for joining. There will be a follow-up email tomorrow, including more information on getting started with Ad Studio. And as we mentioned as well, you're more than welcome to reach out to an Ad Studio representative if you would like to do so and have a one-on-one call if that could be beneficial. Also, please head to ads.spotify.com to our help center for more really key information. And we really look forward to hosting you again very, very soon. And I think Queen won that poll. Fantastic. Have a great rest of your day and see you all very, very soon.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good one.
Bye, guys.